Thank you, Madam Chair. Welcome, ministers. It's a pleasure to have you here. You both have important jobs at this time. I know Canadians want you to succeed. Conservatives want you to succeed as well and help get a deal. We said we'd be willing to do that. But Minister LeBlanc, you're in a really tough spot. I mean, you're negotiating with a country that seems to keep moving the goalposts, and your boss keeps making promises that seems to not be able to deliver upon, or you can't deliver on. So I take from your testimony this morning at the Senate that we're not any closer to a deal with the Americans on the sectoral tariffs than we were just a few weeks ago. Is that what I heard correctly this morning at the Senate?
Madam Chair, through you, Mr. Chambers, thanks for the question. I hope that's not exactly what you heard. I learned the hard lesson of saying, oh, I think we're going to have progress in the next 3 weeks. I think we might have a deal by August. So I have lost the illusion that we should predict in precise time when we might get to an agreement. An agreement can take many different forms. My view is an agreement is something that would improve the circumstance that we're in today. I continue to be optimistic. The conversations that I've had with Secretary Lutnick are encouraging. There have been a myriad of discussions, Ambassador Hillman and other senior officials. So I remain optimistic, but I think like you, like everybody, accept the urgency of the moment, wish that these agreements had been concluded weeks ago, but it doesn't mean we don't need to continue to do the work and try and get the best agreement possible.
Well, thank you. And I guess in terms of advancing the discussions, we've made a number of concessions. Canada has made a number of concessions. Getting rid of the DST, quietly removing some tariffs during the election and only disclosing it afterwards. Just a couple weeks ago, we got rid of additional tariffs. We withdrew some complaints about softwood lumber. So we've made a number of concessions to the Americans. I'm just asking, can you point to one concession that the Americans have given to us?
I understand you refer to these as concessions. I think it's part of an active negotiating conversation.
I don't think anyone has ever considered them anything other than concessions. No one has called them anything but concessions.
I wouldn't be as absolute as that. I don't think I've called them concessions. Okay. I've called them decisions that we make in the best interest of continuing a discussion with the United States that'll hopefully get to the agreement you referred to in your first question.
So has the U.S. made any similar movements that we have made to support the discussions?
Yes.
Just an example of one would be helpful.
So this is there, and I appreciate the question. I want to be careful. In ongoing conversations that go back months, there are different scenarios that various American officials advance, and we talk about different scenarios that we think might lead us to an agreement. At the end of the day, the CUSMA exemption, which was not part of the original announcement, this has changed so many times over the last number of months. Sometimes
it's
useful.
You're taking a long time to say there hasn't been.
I'm going to give you one right now. The fact that Canada benefits, 97% of our exports benefit from an exemption under CUSMA, save and accept the Section 232 tariffs that they've applied across the world. But that night in February when they said they were applying a 25% across-the-board tariff to the Canadian economy, in fact, that applies to a very small segment of Canadian exports. That is a massive advantage that Canada has, but it's not enough and doesn't put us in the position we were in a year ago.
Not much of an advantage if you're in one of those sectors that we described.
Agreed.
You said you were open to some suggestions, so I'll leave you with one. The electric vehicle mandate. It's been disclosed now that Canadian auto manufacturers have committed $1 billion of cash to Tesla to purchase credits from an American auto manufacturer that has zero manufacturing capabilities in Canada and no intention of manufacturing capabilities in Canada. In fact, hundreds of millions of dollars has already gone to Tesla to purchase these credits. Automakers are having a hard time dealing with the tariffs, and now they are financially strained for electric vehicles with this mandate. Hundreds of millions of dollars have already been paid to an American company. No commitment to Canada. Are you open to scrapping the EV mandate?
So thank you for the question. I understand that, and I certainly have heard discussions concerning the EV mandate. I've had those conversations with Premier Ford and a number of others. In terms of the specific payments or so on, I'm not familiar with those numbers. I'm not disagreeing with them. Perhaps the deputy he says he has some precision that he can offer. If that would be helpful.
I mean, the policy is enriching Tesla shareholders. Is there a reason we're not scrapping it because the Prime Minister disclosed he owns Tesla shares?
Well, obviously, that's not the reason.
But I'm not sure it is the reason.
You can make up a whole bunch of stuff here in the committee and try and make it stick.
We're not making it up. That's a fact, sir.
But would you be interested in the deputy perhaps giving you some precision?
Well, we have the deputy after, I believe, for
So
time.
you're not interested
we'll follow.
in
We'll follow up with the deputy
great.
after.
I think it would be valuable.
I appreciate it. And the last thing I'll leave you with. We're open to helping you. We'd like to see you succeed. Conservatives said we'd like to help you get a deal. If there's something that we can do to be helpful, please let us know.
Appreciate it.
We'll be happy to do that.
Thank you.